Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Well, Tasmania's tourism leaders are rallying to save their livelihoods as the pandemic threatens to sink more businesses. A 2-year vision for a path out of the crisis is now in the hands of operators nervously waiting for borders to reopen.
Gathering under the one roof to save their industry, Tasmanian tourism is holding on, but only just.
We're treading water and we are making the decisions that get us through to when there'll be an interstate market.
They're preparing for the day borders open, launching a 2-year action plan, guiding operators out of the COVID storm with a focus on rebuilding visitation and support for businesses.
Without it, we haven't got a way forward, so it is integral for our industry.
The industry is also in the spotlight, but for the wrong reasons. Questions are again being asked why a travel exemption was issued to consultancy director Roger Powell for the Crown Plaza opening in July. Right to information documents show his emails asking for help were forwarded from the Hospitality Association to the Pipwi boss Tim Baker. Peter Gutwin has rejected any claims of wrongdoing.
We have senior public servants that manage a process and the Police Commissioner, as the State Controller, ultimately signs off on them.
Meanwhile, Tasmania remains on alert after a new case of coronavirus emerged at the North West Regional Hospital yesterday. A man in his 60s is in a stable condition. He had been receiving medical treatment in Victoria.
I think it's very likely that this gentleman acquired his infection during his Melbourne hospitalisation.
2 staff at the North West have been furloughed as a precaution. Unions are confident the right procedures have been followed.
But there's obviously still a lot of anxiety there given the North West Regional Hospital has had a previous outbreak.
Labor wants the government to be clear on the plan for future outbreaks.
So that Tasmanians can have confidence that the government is ready to respond in a way that will keep us all as safe as possible.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
Meanwhile, police say a Tasmanian woman visited 2 retail outlets in Burnie despite being ordered to self-isolate at home. The 28-year-old returned to the state's northwest from Western Australia on Sunday, but a routine compliance check revealed she breached her 14-day isolation period yesterday morning. She's been fined $774. A medicinal cannabis facility to become one of the biggest in the country has today launched in northern Tasmania. The multi-million-dollar operation is pitched at helping treat those in need, but currently less than 20 people have been approved for the trial.
Opening the doors to new possibilities for the medicine industry and the ill patients that rely on it.
Continues a strong tradition of innovation and is very synergistic with our alkaloid business.
The $10 million medicinal cannabis facility near Westbury, helping supply a rapidly growing national market.
They're forecasting that that'll grow to over 30,000 by the end of 2020.
Locally, those numbers pale in comparison. Just 16 people have access to the drug.
From a medical point of view, it's required of us that we have these tight controls.
It has been used to treat chronic pain conditions like epilepsy as well as anxiety and depression.
So the plant itself generates the cannabinoids out of the flower, and we use a solvent to take the cannabinoids out of that flower into a solution.
The Tasmanian government is one of the only states in the country to subsidise medicinal cannabis for patients, a far cry from 6 years ago where then Health Minister Michael Ferguson expressed serious doubts over the plan.
We've accepted that it's a compassionate policy. We want to support people who need it.
The new facility can extract 90 tonnes of the plant product each year, which equates to around 9 million bottles of medicine. While medicinal use of the drug has been given the green tick, talks of legalising recreational use in the future quickly extinguished by the government.
No. And I think that the two need to be kept well apart.
Garth Burley, 7 Tasmania News.
Queenstown police have been kept busy detecting 3 motorists excessively speeding within just half an hour yesterday. 2 men from Hobart and 1 from Ulverston have been accused of driving 49, 40 and 26 kilometres over the 100 km/h limit on the Lyell Highway. Authorities have once again urged Tasmanians to slow down on the roads, especially with more wet weather on the way. A Tasmanian coroner has described the tragic final moments of a West Coast woman who died trying to call for help. Susan Ducar died from exposure and dehydration following a minor car crash on a remote road near Tulla in December 2018. The 72-year-old, who suffered other medical issues, managed to escape her car but was unable to reach 000 as there was no phone reception. Coroner Olivia McTaggart made no recommendations. It's official. Tasmanian seaman Edward Teddy Sheehan is the 101st Australian recipient of the coveted Victoria Cross after it was signed off by the Queen. Family and friends of the World War II hero today shedding a tear after his courageous actions were finally acknowledged.
97-year-old Jack Bird remembers the moment he enlisted in World War II and met another fresh-faced teenager named Teddy Sheehan.
I was all on the jump and going places.
Both underage and excitable, the pair immediately struck a bond in the Navy and were poised to leave together on the HMAS Armidale when Jack needed several teeth removed, forcing him off the ship. He never saw his good mate again.
No, this'll do me, he says. I said, you fair dinkum? He said, yeah. Well, I said, I'm not coming.
Teddy was killed on board the vessel in 1942, bravely shooting down an enemy fighter plane as he took his last breath, aged just 18.
I knew what he'd do when he did it.
Those selfless actions today saw him honoured with the military's highest ranking, a Victoria Cross.
Many of us have really been taken back by his courage, his commitment to his mates and his sacrifice.
The battle for recognition, something his family have been fighting for more than 3 decades.
Because he never gave up and never ever was I giving up.
It's the first ever VC for the Royal Australian Navy, and what better way to toast the achievements of Teddy than with a 19-year-old port made in his name.
I said to him, I won't knock the top off that until we get the VC. And believe me, sometimes she might have looked like turning to vinegar, but today we are going to knock the top off it.
Teddy.
Teddy. Teddy.
Cheers to a friend, a relative, and the epitome of a war hero.
The story is inspiring, and it should inspire us all.
Garth Burley, 7 Tasmanian News.
A Tasmanian gin has proven to be a cut above the rest at an international competition. 3 Cuts Gin, produced by Turner Stillhouse in the Tamar Valley, claimed 4 medals at the International Wine and Spirits competition in England. The recognition has lifted the spirits of distillery founder Justin Turner, who started production 2 years ago. The state's frontline rescuers have had their equipment bolstered, receiving new technology to help their search missions in the most challenging conditions. New night vision goggles aim to improve capability to save Tasmanians stuck or injured in the dark.
All decked out, ready for a rescue mission. This frontline police officer now has an upgraded high-tech accessory to aid in vital searches.
These goggles are fantastic to provide additional safety when we conduct night operations around Tasmania.
These 3 new sets of military-grade night vision goggles, a major boost for the Westpac Rescue helicopter team.
This latest technology moves us from the green light across to the white light, and with these additional goggles, more of the crew members on board are able to wear goggles, which enhances our safety in that environment and enhances our capability to find people that are lost in the wilderness.
It's vital, of course, that this work is done to, of course, keep Tasmanians safe.
It's hoped the $60,000 equipment will improve on current missions, with the service conducting 160 night searches in the past 12 months.
Currently, Ambulance Tasmania paramedics are using a high-powered torch out the side of the door, which is great for local illumination. But what the night vision goggles will do for us is provide a much greater situational awareness.
Crew members say they're already feeling better prepared for future call-outs.
We've been in a black hole approach, so you're not actually able to see what you're approaching until you get close enough to illuminate the area with the torch. So crews will feel very much more comfortable.
Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmanian News.
7 decades after the first Holden was registered in Tasmania, today the very last was snapped up. Now a plan is in motion to bring together Holden owners from across the state for a big family reunion.
You can trace Tasmania's entire Holden history between these two cars.
It's the end of an era.
This modern Arcadia goes down as the very last new Holden to be registered in the state. Next door is the very first, a 1948 FX, predecessor to the famous FJ. Under the bonnet and inside, it looks and sounds just how it did on day one, after being restored to its original condition.
Hand stitched all the leather. He sourced parts from the carpet from the UK. Some of the bolts came from Canada.
Now, a call for cars is going out across the state. In early September, Motors wants to showcase Tasmanian Holdens in its Burnie, Launceston and Hobart showrooms to help raise $80,000 for a local family in need of a car with wheelchair access.
Holden has just been synonymous with the beginning of Australian manufacturing.
There's rare beauty in blossom time in Australia's Apple Isle. And there's rare beauty too in Holden, Australia's own car.
A beauty to become rarer and rarer, with Holden retailing in Tasmania now reaching the end of the line. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmanian News.
The window for AFL games in Tasmania is tightening, with Hawthorn heading to South Australia's Barossa Valley for its next batch of games. The club is still clinging to the faint hope of hosting a match in Launceston.
From Perth, the Hawks will settle into their new nest, the Barossa Valley, for the foreseeable future. Time's running out on any hope of playing here.
My key aim is to ensure the health and safety of Tasmanians. If it means that the AFL can't come here, unfortunately the AFL can't come here.
Hawthorn has told 7 Tasmania the door is still open, but the club doesn't want to put the state's work suppressing the virus at risk and will wait for the government's tick before scheduling any games. Elsewhere, Sydney and Fremantle will head to Cairns for the final month of the season, with teams flying in and out to play at Gazaley Stadium. The remaining 4 rounds of the AFL fixture are expected to be finalised later this week. Meanwhile, North Melbourne's AFLW side has lost another Tasmanian. Burnie's Emma Humphreys has been delisted. She played just 6 games with the Roos after being traded from Melbourne. While in the TSL, Kieran Lovell's sublime showing for Kingborough on the weekend has the coach singing his praises.
Probably since he's been here, that was his best all-round game.
Lovell had 29 disposals, 11 of them contested, along with 10 clearances.
It was all first options, all super clean.
We understand that Kieran is probably going to get 20 touches. Hopefully the pressure that we're able to put on, it's 20 hat kicks or 20 handballs rather than him delivering the ball inside 50.
North Launceston is looking to play an unchanged side against the Tigers. Kingborough will be without Lockie Clifford, who's broken his collarbone.
Good evening. A few showers developed over the northwest today and started pushing over the state. Hobart, Launceston and Burnie all 12 and Devonport 11 degrees. King Island 16 the highest. Flinders Island, Friendly Beaches and Strawn 15 today. Smithton and St Helens 13. Grove 11. Lyawini reached 4. Cloud covers most of Tasmania while a band of high cloud cleared the state this afternoon. The broad mass of cloud moved across southeast Australia while areas of low cloud swirl around the low near Adelaide. Low cloud also sits over southern WA. Tomorrow the area of low pressure persists over the southeast of the nation, multiple lows and troughs to our east and west. The winds northeasterly at 5 to 15 knots and up to 20 knots over the west and south. Hobart tomorrow heading for 14, a late shower moving in, a late shower for Cygnet, 15 the top and 14 for New Norfolk. Launceston a high of 14 with light rain, Devonport wet and 13, a light shower for Campbelltown and 13 degrees. Burnie expecting 13 as well with rain, light rain for Strawn, 15 the maximum, 14 the top for Smithton, 15 for St Helens with a light shower, Swansea 15 as well and 15 for Fingal. To Friday and rain about the north with showers elsewhere, possible thunderstorms over Bass Strait and the northeast. The heavier rain on Saturday over the eastern half, showers across the rest of the state. Similar weather for Sunday as southeasterly winds turn southwesterly. Showers for Adelaide and Melbourne tomorrow, both expecting 17 degrees. A sunny 22 in Sydney, up to 26 in Brisbane and fog to start the day in Darwin, but I'd be happy with the 31. If we can't be happy with 31, we need to put up with 9 degrees at the moment in Hobart, Launceston and Devonport. It's cloudy everywhere, Kim.
If we add them all together, we almost get 31. Thanks, Murph. That's your news for this Wednesday. Thanks for your company tonight. See you again tomorrow. Good night.